welcome to Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio is Jennifer Brandow. She's a preparedness planner for the Florida Department of Health in Polk County.
Hi, Brian.
It's been about a year since I've seen you.
Probably,
Yeah.
maybe 3.
It's hurricane season, and well, Florida Department of Health, in partnership with Polk County and Polk County School Board and a couple others, we're talking shelters and shelter safety. Let's talk a little bit about first, and what's in your hand?
So this is the 2022 Polk County Directory on Shelters, and this is your go-to for shelter information. It's located at your public stores as you walk in. This year is orange, so you want to make sure you look for the color orange. Every year is a new color. And this will have all of your public shelters and your special needs shelters, along with some other handy information.
Now, when we talk shelters, let's talk a little bit about the difference between there's our basic shelters, and then talk a little bit about special needs shelters, if you would, please.
So we have general population shelters, just what it says, general population. Then we have our special needs shelters, which are for our more medically inclined residents that might be oxygen dependent, electrical dependent, mobility issues. We have 3 of those shelters that are set up that are within hurricane safety, and they have generator power.
Talk about the process that they need to go through in order to become part of the special needs shelters.
So the county takes registration, and they'll do it all year round. So if January 1st comes around and you want to register, you can register for special needs shelters. You don't have to wait until hurricane season to do that. And then they'll call you as the season approaches to verify your information, that you're still looking to go to a shelter. And they'll go over different things about transportation, how to get there. Do you need transportation? We can provide transportation, but it's something we don't want you to wait until the very last minute. We kind of want to know some numbers of how many people in Polk County are interested in or going to need a special needs shelter.
And one of the great things about the multiple partnerships involved with taking care of the residents, the ride Citrus Connection is one of the partners that we rely on for getting the residents to the special needs shelters.
Oh, it's a village to get all of this done, absolutely, between county, Board of County Commissioners, Citrus, Department of Health. It's everybody comes together to provide this for people in need.
And the employees, talk about one thing that I'm really amazed with when they talk about the people that it takes to put this on. You said the village. Me as a television producer, I volunteered to work in a shelter because we needed bodies in there to take care of the things of the residents. Talk about the inner workings, what I like to say, what's going on behind the curtain.
Right. Well, it's a madhouse. There's a lot of intricate pieces going on. So between medical staff, so the nurses at our health department, CNAs, LPNs, our clerical staff, they're there. Our environmental health staff are there. County workers are there. So it's everybody comes together to provide support to the residents while they're in the shelter. It's not all medical, but there's so many other tasks that need to be done. I mean, you're in there waiting for a storm, so there's people going around to just make sure you're okay. Do you have any concerns? Just kind of making the time go by while everybody's waiting for the storm to come through.
As a resident that might need to be in a shelter, talk about some of the things of importance, especially medications, things along that lines. Talk about the things that they'll need. The county and the health department and Citrus Connection are giving them what they need and providing the shelter. But those that may need the help, talk about what they need to contribute.
Well, first I'd like to talk about the medication piece you mentioned, because a lot of people don't realize that if there's a named storm out there, you can get your medication earlier. So, I mean, if we're expecting a storm, things might be shut down after the storm. So if you're getting close to running out of your medication, I highly suggest you watch for that named storm and then start making those requests to get your refills. There's certain medications that are not refillable early, but the majority of them, if there's a named storm, you can get them early. So I would definitely keep an eye on your medication during hurricane season and request that. But when you go to a shelter, you can bring your snacks that you like to have. You'll get meals there. You'll get 3 meals a day, but it might not be exactly what you're looking for. It might not be to your liking. So if you can, bring some of your snacks, some of your food that you like. You need to have a caregiver come with you. So whoever takes care of you during the day, they should accompany you to the shelter. But we can assist with making sure your medications are on time and you're provided them. Make sure if you have wound care, we can assist with wound care. You could bring things that, crossword puzzles, things like that. We try to, depending on what facility you're assigned to, you may or may not have TV or VCR or things like that. So things that make you entertained during the day, if you knit or cross stitch or something like that, bring it. Because the days are long until we start to demobilize and everybody can go back home.
I want you to talk about the importance, if you don't have family members, but you have a furry family member, and talk about what needs to happen there, because when you're in a special needs facility, it's not going to be possible, where if you're going to one of our general populations, there are some pet friendly. So talk about the importance of making a plan for their pet.
So if you're going to a special needs shelter, the only pets that are allowed are service dogs. It used to be service dogs and miniature horses, but I think within the last year they've made an adjustment to that, and it's only service dogs. When I say they made an adjustment, it wasn't county, it was nationwide adjustment. It's just service dogs. So the dog has to perform something for you. Therapy dogs are not allowed, emotional support, comfort dogs, all those unique dogs, while they're very important to that individual, unfortunately they're not allowed in the shelter. General Pop, though, has shelters that also allow pets, and you can find them in this map, and they have a little dog print identifying them that they accept pets. So you do need to make some provisions for your pet if it's not a service dog, if you're going to go to a special needs shelter. Family, a neighbor, maybe a kennel, but something. I wouldn't leave it home, but definitely make some provisions for it.
Jennifer, we've got about a minute left. Anything we didn't touch on? Anything that you want to make sure that the residents know in being prepared when it comes to this hurricane season?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the shelters are kind of the last resort. So we want you to have plans to go someplace else if possible, to a family's, friends, relatives, out of state if you're mobile in that way. But definitely don't rely on the shelter. It's not. It's a last resort. There's a saying out, it's a lifeboat, not a cruise boat. So make sure that you have conversations with your family and say, hey, if you're living in a mobile home, you're worried about electricity, but you need electricity, then talk to them and see if you can go stay with them for the weekend or whatever the storm is going to come. It's just very important that you don't rely on this. It's a safe haven, but it shouldn't be your first choice.
Well, Jennifer, I want to thank you for coming in, and try not to be a stranger.
I'll do that.
Come back and see me again soon,
Thanks,
will you,
Brian.
please? Hurricane season runs through November, and the Florida Department of Health in Polk County wants to make sure everyone is prepared. Now, there are 3 special needs shelters in Polk County available to people who need a higher level of medical care than that which is provided at a general shelter. Eligible persons desiring special needs sheltering should pre-register with emergency management. Now, to find out who's eligible and how to register, visit polk-county.net or give Polk County Emergency Management a call